What started in the mud of World War I became a global revolution in warfare. We're taking a journey through 100 years of British engineering, documenting the evolution of British tanks from the very first tanks ever to the modern-day ones. We start our list with World War I, Little Willie. This was the world's very first tank prototype. It looked like a metal box on tracks and struggled to cross trenches, but it proved that the concept of an armoured vehicle could actually work. Then, Mother Big Willie. This design introduced the famous rhomboid shape. It was built to climb over obstacles and became the direct ancestor of the first tanks used in battle, Mark I. This was the first tank to ever see combat. It was split into male versions with large guns and female versions with machine guns, making it a terrifying sight on the front lines. Mark II. While it looked almost identical to its predecessor, this version was mostly used for training. However, some were pushed into action during the Great War when they were needed most. Mark III, another training variant. This one featured improved internal layout and thicker armour. It helped prepare crews for the intense conditions of early armoured warfare. Mark IV. This was the most produced tank of the First World War. It featured better armour and moved the fuel tanks outside for safety, proving its worth at the Battle of Cambrai. Mark V, a major technical leap. This was the first heavy tank that could be driven by a single person. Its new engine and steering system made it much more effective in the field. Mark VII. This design was an attempt to make the tank longer to cross wider trenches. It featured a unique hydraulic steering system that was quite advanced for its time. Next, Mark VIII, Liberty, an ambitious international project between Britain and America. It was a massive machine designed to crush enemy defences, though it arrived just as the war was ending. Next, Mark IX. This was the world's first dedicated armoured personnel carrier. It could carry 30 infantrymen inside its hull, though the heat and fumes made the ride incredibly uncomfortable. Medium Mark, a Whippet, a faster, lighter machine designed for breakthroughs. It was much quicker than the heavy tanks and could harass retreating enemy troops with its multiple machine guns. Medium Mark B. This was meant to be a better version of the Whippet. It returned to the rhomboid shape but included a separate compartment for the crew and the engine. The next one, Medium Mark C Hornet. Often called the Hornet, this was one of the last tanks designed during the war. It was fast and offered the crew much better visibility than